I'm Lisa, the artist behind Lachri Fine Art. It is Tuesday, so I'm here to critique one of your original paintings or drawings. If you have an original painting or drawing that you would like to submit for critique, head over to my website, lachri.com/critiques. The link is below in the video description and you can submit your work there. Today's submission comes from artist Anne Driessen. She has painted her two cats in acrylic paint. She said she was going for a more graphic look. Anne started out by using GIMP, which is a photo editor, to come up with the actual outline for her subjects. Starting off with that good outline is great for starting with that solid foundation. Anne also said that she was stepping outside of her comfort zone for what she normally paints with this piece, so good job there on taking those steps to try something new. Looking at some things that we can adjust to improve on this even more. First, let's look at your reference photos. These are not reference photos that I would ever consider working from, and I can't stress that enough. They were taken with a flash. They're very small files on top of that. The cats are across the room and teeny tiny. So if you're thinking, oh, but the file was actually a decent size, yeah, but the cats are so tiny in that photo, you can't see any detail. So that's a huge issue. Being that these photos were taken with a flash is an even bigger issue. The flash washes everything out. One of the complaints that artists have a lot when working from photograph is that they have a hard time getting the dimension. And one of the reasons for this is that they're choosing reference photos that were taken with a flash that washed everything out. You can't see the shading, you can't see the detail because of the way that the flash lights everything up in weird locations. Not to mention glowing eyes on pets, so you can't see any detail there. What makes for a cute photo does not always make for great artwork. So here, let's look at the calico, for example. The white on her chest is completely washed out. There's no definition, there's no shading, no detail, you can't see anything. So no matter how good of an artist you are, you're not going to be able to see what you need to render that pet accurately. And then when you get to where you're starting to take pet commissions, that's going to be a really big deal. You want to know what photos you can and can't work from. This is a case where had someone brought this photo to me and asked me to paint their pet, I would absolutely have turned it down. No matter how much money they were offering to pay me, it wouldn't have mattered because I know that I can't make that photo look realistic or look good in a way that they're going to be happy with. Now I know that you said you were going for a more graphic look, but this is the same thing. You need to know where those shadows go because without those, the work looks very flat. Another thing on the calico, because that flash lit up her eyes the way it did, they're not the right size. The light is just creating an illusion that they're shaped weird. And so while you copied your photo exactly, when that flash created an illusion that you don't want, so on your work it looks like one eye is much bigger than the other where it shouldn't be. My last tip for this piece is on the color itself. Now again, being that you were going for a more graphic style, you can get away with being a little bit looser with the colors and not being as exact, but there are a few things here that really stand out. First is the pink in the ears is so pink. My attention when I look at this piece is drawn straight to the inside of the ears, which is not where you want the focus to be no matter what style you're going for. The next would be the color for the tabby cat. That has a lot more gray in it. You've used a lot of browns and it doesn't really match the cat. Here for the tabby cat, I would have used black and white, made a gray color, and then added a bit of brown to warm it up. But that will give you a much more natural look. You also really want to watch the markings on your subject because this is part of what captures the look of that specific animal. It's what makes them unique. So when we look at the reference photo versus yours, the stripes on yours feel a little bit more random. You want to go more exact on where those go. No matter what type of style you're working on, you want to make sure that that sort of detail is very accurate. If you're doing this for a customer, the customer will know if those stripes or spots are in the wrong place. Years ago, I remember seeing an artist do an Italian greyhound painting and she put the white markings on the dog on the wrong side of the dog. The owner was not happy, we'll just say that. It wasn't that the painting was necessarily terrible, it was wrong. I mean, it wasn't the dog that she was hired to paint. These are types of things that you definitely want to pay attention to. Giving your reference photos, I can see exactly what you were looking at when you painted certain things certain ways, which tells me you're able to notice certain details on your painting. So that is great. I would love to see the work that you could complete using a higher quality reference photo where you can see all of the details that you need and your highlights and shadows and all of that stuff. Definitely keep painting. Thanks for watching. If you're new to my channel, I have new video critiques every Tuesday where I'm critiquing your original paintings or drawings. My own speed paintings, drawings, and tutorials every Wednesday. I forgot what day. Social media tips for artists each Thursday and artist vlogs every weekend. So if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Google+, all of those social media sites, and those links are below in the video description where you can keep up with the news, my newest work, and see real-time clips of whatever it is I'm currently working on. I'll see you guys tomorrow.